Hello and welcome. Today is 12th of November 2023. I wish everybody a very happy Deepavali. And today we are going to see a very interesting but a confusing concept of Zwischenzug, or also known as an intermediate move or an in-between move. In my experience, lot of students find it very difficult to understand this concept, and if they can't understand, then they cannot apply it in their games. So we'll be using this position, which I encountered in one of my online games recently, to try to demonstrate the concept and the basic idea of a Zwischenzug, which is a German term and which basically means a in-between move. So what is the in-between move? Basically, the idea would be to cut through the opponent's calculation with a very specific move in such a way that the whole concept of the opponent's calculation or his idea is totally destroyed. And usually, a Zwischenzug would leave the person who is executing that in-between move with a big advantage. So just to understand the concept, we'll see what happened in the game. So it is black to move. I am playing black. I played this move queen b6, threatening the bishop on b2, right? So there are many ways to protect the bishop, and the bishop can be moved to c3. For example, the queen can go here, or the rook can come here. So there are multiple ways to protect the bishop. Now, every time we make a chess move, basically our idea is, if possible, to try to get an advantage. With that in mind, white plays this move, rook b1. Now it's a very interesting move because white is aware that the pawn on a2 is hanging. So I can go ahead and take the pawn. But his idea is, let us say, when I take the pawn, the rook is against the black queen. So let us say, just demonstrate white's ideas. I'll capture this pawn, and then white plays this very powerful move, bishop into g7, attacking both the queen on b6 and the rook on h8, and thereby gaining a winning material advantage, right? So both the queen and the rook are attacked. The queen probably has to be saved, and then black ends up losing the game with the loss of the rook. So this is the basic white concept. Now, before I take the pawn on a2, I have to see, I thought, okay, can we do a Zwischenzug? Can we find a move which destroyed the concept? Now, in this position, I also see the king is on e1, and it is in a very open position. So my concept is that I took this with the idea that when bishop g7 will be played, which was played and which was opponent's idea, I can play this very small move, queen a5, which is a check. Now, if you see what changes have been brought into the position, suddenly the queen is out of attack of the rook. The white king is in a check, and the bishop on g7 is hanging. So this is the Zwischenzug move. This is a move which totally cuts through white's calculations and gives black immediately a winning advantage, because there is no way white can save the bishop and also save the check. So the only way would have been bishop c3, but the bishop on c3 would have been hanging piece, and I can simply capture it. And there's no other way. So let us say queen d2 can be played, but here I can simply exchange the queens and then capture the bishop on G7 for free. So in all the cases, in all the variations, black is ending up getting a winning advantage, and all due to this beautiful Zwischenzug or intermediate move, a in-between move, which we inserted in between opponents' calculations by seeing a particular feature of the position. So this is a very basic example of it. This is a very basic position which I found very useful to demonstrate the concept of the Zwischenzug. It's a very interesting concept. And if you learn to find such small moves which cut through opponent's calculation, you will win a lot of chess games, and the games will become much more interesting. One of the most important concepts in chess calculations, the Zwischenzug or an intermediate move. I hope I was able to explain it, and you'll find this concept interesting. So to recap, it is a move, the Zwischenzug is a move which cuts through opponent's calculation in such a way that it destroys the concept, the basic idea of the opponent's calculation, and ends up giving a big advantage to the person who does the intermediate move. With that, we'll conclude today's lesson, today's video. If you found it interesting, do let me know in comments. Do like the video if you found it interesting. And thank you so much. And I'll see you again soon. Take care and goodbye. And again, wishing you a happy Diwali.